Hi, so since tomorrow is election day, I figured I would share this video with you, sharing how you can win any political discussion that you might have. Just for the record, this video is satire. Please don't actually do any of these things to anyone. It's rude and it's unchristlike. All right, so tactic number one to win any political discussion is called an ad hominem attack. So basically what that means is that instead of attacking your idea, I'm going to attack you as a person. So if you want to win a political ad, you start by coming up with the most vicious, terrible thing you can come up with to call the person, and you call them that name. That's tactic number one, and it's very important to get right. Now, you can go directly to, you're a fascist, or you're a commie, or you like Stalin, or you like Hitler, or something like that if you want to, or you can kind of try and be a little more nuanced about it, a little more careful, because you don't want people to realize that what you're doing is what you're doing. So you can go kind of nicely and be like, man, you know what? That idea is just that's what Hitler did. So you got that ad hominem attack, and you've really torn that person down. You've really painted them to be a monster. All right. So now it's really important that you follow up with one of these next two tactics. The next one that I find to be most effective is to come with a red herring. So red herring, in addition to being delicious, I'm just kidding. It's not actually a food, I don't think. Maybe. Okay. But red herring is basically when you bring up something that is beside the point of what you're talking about. It's not what you're talking about. It's related enough that you can pretend that it is, but it's not really related. It's like if we were to argue about Taco Bell, and I was to say, I like Taco Bell, and you were to say, well, don't you know that El Guadalcanero is just delicious and so good? Well, yeah, El Guadalcanero is delicious. Taco Bell is good too. Not nearly as good, but it's good. But you can bring up something that's beside the point, some other thing that doesn't really have to do with the discussion at hand. Taco Bell, is it good or not? That's a discussion we're having. If you bring up that it's not Mexican, that's a good example of a red herring, because it's beside the point. We do this really well in politics. We bring up something that has nothing to do with what the discussion's about. And then the final thing that you can do, and this is very important to do right, is you gotta get a straw man argument, okay? So like, if I was to say that I like Taco Bell, if you want to discredit me, the first thing you gotta do to discredit me is you gotta misrepresent what I said. So if I say that I like Taco Bell, you say that I said that I think Taco Bell is the best Mexican food on the planet. Because you can't prove that Taco Bell isn't good. Maybe you can. But you can't prove that very easily. But it's really easy to prove that it's not the best Mexican food. So anyway, we do this in politics all the time. Every single one of the ads that I have seen for the last month has shown us one or two or all three of these things. It usually starts with the ad hominem, the personal attack, then it goes to a red herring, and then it goes to a straw man where they just misrepresent what the other person thinks into something ridiculous, and then it's really easy to tear it down. Now the opposite of this is if you want to have a political discussion with someone in an appropriate manner, you have to do the exact opposite of these things. First and foremost, you have to show the other person respect. If you don't show the other person respect, there is no way that you can have a productive conversation. If you're a Christian like I am, and like most of my audience is, I assume, you're supposed to be the most loving people on the planet. That's what Jesus said about us. You're supposed to be the most loving people on the planet. You're supposed to love your enemy. And, I don't think these people that disagree with you are really your enemies, but, they're in that direction maybe. So you're supposed to love them, which means showing them respect, which leads naturally to the next part. Instead of straw manning their argument, hear them out. because here's the thing, there are a lot of things where I think that the logical conclusion of what someone's idea is not exactly what they're saying that they believe. That if you take it to the next logical step, and I might just say, hey, that idea leads to this and it's really bad. And you can actually unintentionally create a straw man argument that way. But if you respect someone and you want to have a conversation with them, you hear them out. You hear out why they think what they think. And you might even let them think it out, because a lot of people are not professional debaters by any means. They think what they think, but they maybe haven't thought it out all the way. So you might let them try to formulate their thoughts, because they might believe something that they haven't actually thought about how to put it into words before. And then the final way to actually have an effective political conversation today, and there's a lot more to it than just these three things, is to talk about the issue at hand. One of the things when you watch a debate between two politicians that you'll see them do is they will skirt the question over and over again. But it's not just politicians that do it. If you go here on YouTube, you will find really famous debates between people with very different ideas about how the world works. One of the most famous in my circle is the debate between Bill Nye and Ken Ham. And everybody always asks me, well, who won? Who won the debate between Bill Nye and Ken Ham? I don't know. I don't think either of them did, because neither of them followed the basic rules of debate, which is you have to talk about one thing. They changed the subject multiple times. And they did eventually get back kind of to their original subject, but, by that point, the debate was already invalid. Anyway, that's just my opinion. God bless. Please vote tomorrow. Here's just something beside the point, another thought of mine. This is just my opinion based on my knowledge of political science. I really think that if you are in a position, because I've talked to several people that have expressed that they're in a position where they don't feel like they can vote for either candidate for some of the positions that are running, the best thing for you to do, if you cannot morally vote for either candidate, the best thing for you to do is to still show up to the poll and hand in a blank ballot. And the reason why that happens is because if there's a statistically high number of people that do that, if there's enough people that do that it could have turned the election, it sends a message to both political parties that they ought to do better at earning your vote. Anyway, and if you already have who you're going to vote for in mind, go do that too. By no means am I telling you who to vote for. I'm just saying to please vote, to please show up to the polls, and God bless. Have a wonderful day, and maybe subscribe. Have a great day.